Sange Chadam Sugi Chanamla, Janchu Patotani, Sanje, Tagi Jesugi Besanamge, Tola Pinche Sange to Parisho, Sanje Damje Devatan, Devi Kitan Dimberge, Tungal Tan Tungal Kitan Orkije, Tungal Mebe Devatan Bata, Mitra Orkije, Yere Chatangi Tandal, Tayum Chambola Neberge, Then Savila Marimboche, Tagicho Pimitation La, Katin Chamapon Sunday, Kusuntugi went to Sadu, so. I hope you all are doing good. First of all, I would like to thank the Thanggu Media member for creating such a medium where people all over the world can learn, contemplate and meditate on Dharma, and also for helping to flourish the Dharma all over the world, which is one of the main aim of our respected root Guru, the very venerable Khenchen Thanggu Rinpoche, and also giving me an opportunity to be part of this beautiful and meaningful work. Today I will be talking about the four immeasurables. As we all are someone who want to achieve happiness that is ultimate and everlasting, we have to find the means to achieve that everlasting happiness. And the route to achieve the everlasting happiness is pursuing the welfare of others. In other words, the route to achieving the happiness is cultivating the four immeasurables, which is why today I will be talking about the four immeasurables, summarizing it in 4 points: classification and its characteristics, definition, and the reason to practice the four immeasurables. The four immeasurables are the immeasurable loving kindness, the immeasurable compassion, the immeasurable joy, and the immeasurable equanimity. The immeasurable loving kindness is a mind that wants all sentient beings to meet with happiness and its causes, and the immeasurable compassion is a mind that wants all sentient beings to separate from suffering and its causes. The immeasurable joy is a mind that rejoices in the welfare of other sentient beings. And the immeasurable equanimity is a neutral feeling in the sense of not being attached or averse to those near or far. Now the question arises that why these four are called the four immeasurables. The immeasurables are not called immeasurable because of their size or something like that, but because of their fundamental quality, which is unconditional. Unconditional loving kindness is what makes the loving kindness the immeasurables. Likewise, unconditional compassion, unconditional joy, unconditional equanimity is what makes the compassion, joy, and the equanimity immeasurable. As the author B. Alan Wallace in the book named The Four Immeasurables to Open the Heart says, it's immeasurable in the sense that it is no bound reaching out to every sentient being with a heartfelt yearning. So, unconditional quality is what makes the four immeasurables immeasurables. Though all the sentient beings possess some degree of love and compassion, but the love and compassion one generates might be partial. One may have love and compassion for one's family, but not for the neighbor. One may have compassion for the elder one, but not for the younger one. One may have love and compassion in good times, but not in the bad times. One may rejoice in the well-beings of others who one gets along with, but not of those who oppose. But we must understand that to cultivate the four immeasurables, it is important that loving kindness one generates must be impartial. So in order to cultivate impartial loving kindness, impartial compassion, and impartial joy, it is important that one incorporate the equanimity while cultivating it. So in the usual enumeration of the four immeasurables, the equanimity is numbered as fourth, but when one actually practices the immeasurables, one must begin with the equanimity first. The reason why one must reach out to every sentient beings with no bounds and no limits, free of attachment to those near or far, is because as we all are someone carved in a cyclic existence, we have been taking countless births in the samsara, and during each birth we have had a parents. Therefore, Every sentient being has been our mother once in a while. As the beginningless Samsara Sutra says, this whole world, if this all were made into the pieces, the size of junior berries by one person, and another person were to count them, it is possible to exhaust the whole world, but one cannot the number of times when sentient beings have been our mother. So as we all are someone who believes in the cyclic existence of the samsara, we must acknowledge that every sentient being has been our mother at one point. Now, our mother are someone who gives us so much. She has given us our body, she has taught us how to eat, how to talk, and she has taught us how to live our life. As the 8,000th stanza, Perfection of Wisdom says, why is it? The mother has given us our body, the mother went through hardship, and the mother gave us our life, and the mother has shown us the whole world. Furthermore, she has loved the unknown more than her parents, and many people were very kind to her. There's a post I recently saw in the Instagram saying 4 pieces of cake, 5 people in the family. I don't like cake, said the mother. And I could actually relate to this post. Our mothers are like that. She sacrificed her needs and herself in order to give the best to us. And each time we had a mother, she performed the same kindness again and again. So we must use the kindness of our mother to cultivate the 4 immeasurables. However, there is no rule that one must reflect on the sentient beings having been our mother to cultivate immeasurables. We can reflect on the relationship that we have with other sentient beings. We must understand that we are falsely considering ourselves as something existing independently, separately from the environment and from other sentient beings. But the truth is, our very sense of who we are itself is a relative event. Our birth itself would have never occurred if there was no contribution of other sentient beings. For example, today for me being able to speak and you being able to watch me speak is all possible because of the kindness of the Venerable Khenchen Thangpa Rinpoche, of my teachers, my families, and the contribution of Thangpa media members, and YouTube, internet, and many more. So whatever we do, we eat, we wear, and we have is all possible because of the kindness and contribution of countless sentient beings. Therefore, since we are connected to those sentient beings, it is possible for us to further our connection by benefiting them and cultivating the 4 immeasurables. No matter which religions and race we belong to, we all are someone who want to be happy and who want to be free from suffering. We must understand that all the sentient beings are exactly same as ourselves in the desire to be happy. And that one reason is more than enough to practice the 4 immeasurables. As Shantideva says, I should eliminate the suffering of others because it is a suffering just like my own suffering. I should take care of other sentient beings because they are a sentient beings just as I am a sentient being. And as he continues, if one thinks that the suffering belonging to someone is to be warded off by the person himself, then why does the hand protect the foot when the pain of the foot doesn't belong to the hand? But however, as a common beings or beginners, even when we understand the importance of the 4 immeasurables, we'll find it quite difficult to incorporate them into our experiences. But if we simply start with the idea that the loving kindness and compassion is good and go about generating them, then one day we'll have that strong enthusiasm in our minds towards cultivating the 4 immeasurables, and our efforts will be effortless and beneficial to others. So, as a common beings and beginners like myself, I think the most important thing is to take the first step. And it is completely okay not being able to cultivate the 4 immeasurables right now. But we must cultivate loving kindness in our heart and compassion. So we can start cultivating loving kindness and compassion in ourselves by starting with oneself. We can start by having love and compassion for oneself, then expand it to our family, friends, neighbors, and to the whole sentient beings. I think the situation we are right now in best time to practice or cultivate loving kindness and compassion in us. Although me and the nuns didn't have to face much problem even in this pandemic because of the grace of very venerable Khenje Thangpa Rinpoche, it is very saddening to know and hear that many sentient beings all around the world have been suffering both mentally and physically, not only because of the COVID, but because of the poverty, flood, landslide, forest fire, and many more. So my point here is that the sentient beings are suffering and in need of help, and we can help them. So we must take this as an opportunity to cultivate loving kindness and compassion. But I think there might be some people who thinks that I want to be kind and compassionate, but I don't have enough to offer and I myself is in need of help. But I think whether we are in good situation or bad situation, we can always cultivate loving kindness and compassion. So there's a story I would like to share with you named The Window, which exactly shows that no matter which situation we are in, we can always be kind and help others. So the story starts with a man getting into an accident and was brought to hospital. The doctor told him that most of his backbones are broken and it might take longer period to recover. So after a few days, he was shifted to a general ward, which had one more patient whose bed was next to the window. So after a few days, the man learned that the man by the window gets to sit up in his bed for 1 hour each afternoon, whereas he had to spend all his time flat on his back. And then days passed and the two men started to talk about their family, their friends, their jobs for hours and hours. And each afternoon, as requested, the man by the window would describe about the beautiful things happening outside the window. He will describe about the park with a beautiful lake, children sailing boats in the water, ducks swimming around, and people coming there for a picnic with their family and friends. So the man was recovering faster than the doctor expected, all because of the man by the window who helped him stay happy mentally. So one day, after a few days, the man by the window died. And after a few days, although the man was saddened by the death of his roommate, he requested the nurse to be moved to the bed next to the window. And one fine day, he slowly propped himself up to look at the beautiful world his friend had described, but all he could see was an old damaged building. The man, shocked, asked the nurse what could have compelled his roommate to describe such a beautiful park and lake outside the window. And the nurse responded, the man himself was a blind man and he could not even see the old building. And she said, perhaps he wanted to encourage you and help you stay happy. So the moral of the story is, no matter which situation we are in, good or bad, we can always be kind and help others if we want. So it might be little difficult to practice or cultivate impartial loving kindness and compassion, but it is said that there is no such thing that doesn't become easier by practicing. Let us all decide to be a little kinder than yesterday and expand that kindness a little more every day. And requesting all you and myself to cultivate loving kindness and compassion whenever we can, I would like to end it here by dedicating the merit for the happiness of all sentient beings. Namde Thamche Sepaing, Thumni Pe Danam Pamjene, Kigana Che Pala Tupai, Sebe Sole Dugonya to Show Padana Shepherd and Bata, Hanya Yala de Gejua, Tashi Mane Sosan de Chani, Yudo Sange Sala Guru Show. Thank you.